Is here with TTB Media and Consulting Inc. And I am hosting this video today to talk about tumbling. Whether you're a dance studio or a cheer gym or a gymnastics gym, we want to talk about all the different ways you can offer tumbling in your space. So you can start with classes. Everybody knows you can have recreational classes. Some people do sessions where you have kids coming into your space for 8, 10, 12 weeks at a time. And some people run classes all year round with the kids taking mini tests throughout the year to determine which level is the best fit for them. Or maybe not. The choice is yours. Your next option, we run what we call Fab Fours in our gym. And Fab Fours can run either year round, or you can limit them to what we do. We choose 4 weeks. We offer 1 skill and a max of 4 people in the class. So for example, we have 4 athletes for 4 weeks working on back walkover or back handspring. And then those kids will re-sign up for the next Fab Four. Another option you can have is a semi-private. A semi-private is 2 athletes with 1 coach. These can vary in length between 30 minutes, 40 minutes, 45 minutes, maybe even a whole hour. Make sure you price them out properly so that not only does your coach get paid their hourly wage, but your gym also makes a profit on those. The last option that we offer in our gym, private lesson. The private lesson is 1 athlete and 1 coach. If you choose this one, make sure you charge just a little bit more because now you only have 1 person paying for that coach's time and into your profit. So let's go back to the very beginning. If you would like to take a recreational class in our gym, that is the least expensive option, but that's because there's 6 to 8 kids to 1 coach ratio. So for example, in our gym, our tumbling classes are 55 minutes in length. They run year round and it costs $74 a month. We do give our full year team athletes a discount of $10 per month, kind of helps put that back in their pocketbook. They register for the class that best suits the skills that they are currently working on, not the skills they want for their team, but the skills they currently have. The Fab Fours in our gym, we charge a little bit more. So for example, for 4 weeks, an athlete would pay $80 a month, and 4 of those athletes are paying you $80. So for that one, you're making $320 a month. With semi-privates, we split the difference in cost. So semi-privates cost $55 per lesson. So we charge the athletes half and half, $27.50. They're both responsible for their own payments. If they want to book a single semi-private, they can do that. But we also offer 15-week packages or a half season and 30-week packages, which is a full season. If they purchase one of those, they get a slightly lesser amount and they get a little bit of a discount. Again, team athletes will get a little bit more of a discount as well. The private lessons, these ones run for 45 minutes in our gym and they cost the most. We charge team athletes $55 and guests $60. We charge a little bit more for somebody coming from the outside.
Okay, now I get to ask
Oh
you.
my God.
Okay, do you find that there is one of the programs that you like to market the most?
We love Fab Fours.
Why is that?
You make the most amount of money and it gives the kids like more hands-on, like hands-on with the coach.
Yeah, and do you find that families like the 4 weeks?
They do, but it's very short term. So we have those conversations in the beginning of, hey, this is 4 weeks. You're not guaranteed to get this skill, but at the very least, you're going to learn some drills and we're going to give you a little bit of take-home work that you can also do at home to help you progress in that skill.
And when it comes to trying to get people into those classes, so if they're on a team and converting into tumbling classes, what are a few ways that you encourage that and get them in the door after their class, like after their practice?
A lot of the times we just remind the kids and the families about how important tumbling is. And while in the cheer world, it's the smallest portion of the score sheet, it's still important to have those skills, especially if they want to progress through the levels. That being said, this year we're making it mandatory for our elite athletes. just because they really need to have those skills and they need to have them perfected in order to be competitive in the cheer world. Our prep athletes it will also be mandatory this year, not until the fall. And then our novice athletes or seasonal novice athletes, those guys, it's optional, but we strongly recommend it for them.
And then how do you market to those families? Like, is there anything that you do that is like coach to coach, like letting people know between the tumbling coach and their cheer coach might be different? Like, how do you create that relationship where they're working at the same time to help push those skills?
With the team coaches, we have little flyers that we send home with the kids, and we use those to be like, it's pre-set out, and then we just kind of like fill it in, but it says, hey, I recommend this class to help you out. And we make sure we hand it to the parent at the end of the practice rather than the athlete, because a lot of the times athletes will like shove it down into that book bag and then you never see it again. But we hand it to the parent because then it also opens up that conversation of, hey, you know what? I noticed that Liz is working on really wants to work on her back handspring. That would be a great fit for this team. This is the class I would recommend for it. As a team athlete, you get a bit of a discount. Did you want me to send you an email with more information and the registration link? The other thing that we'll do is we'll follow up with them. If they have a couple of minutes, I do always open with that. Like, hey, do you have a couple of minutes to talk about this? And then I'll also say, did you want to get a register right now? I can take you to the front desk and we'll get it all set up and she can start next week. We use email marketing a lot as well. We talk about the classes that are opening or the lessons that are open up, days, times, the fact that they're flexible with the private lessons and semi-privates and such, which can be a nice perk for the families. And then we also use band for our group, so we'll pop it in there. One of the things that we started doing again this year are called private pop-ups, and that's literally they're released once a week on Sundays with private lesson space that we have. We select the coach, day, time, and the level available, and then we post that schedule out there, and parents just comment below, I want this day at time with that coach. They're just quick hits. They're 30 minutes for $30, but they go over really well because a lot of the time somebody may not know what they're doing in February. I mean, other than the fact that they're at competition because it's competition season, but they always know what they're doing next week. So a lot of times it helps them plan a tumbling lesson that way as well.
And do you find that it's the kids that are booking those private lessons are the ones that are converting into those packages, those tumbling packages, or the tumbling classes?
A lot of the times they do. A lot of them like to keep the private lessons, but not necessarily do an entire package. They do like to book like occasional ones. The ones that book the packages tend to be the ones that have done multiple private lessons and then they realize the benefit of having a discount on them.
And then from a gym owner perspective, is there a type of package or class that you like offering the most?
Honestly, the Fab Fours are probably my favorite because it still gives enough individualized attention and skill building. We don't do spotting in our gym, but we do give feedback, like instant feedback. So the Fab Fours allow the coach enough time to be able to do that and like wander around between the four athletes. They also bring in way more money than the semi-privates and the privates for the amount of expense that goes out. So the hourly gym rate, the coach's rate, that sort of thing. Classes are fantastic because it's one coach and you know, for us it's 8 kids, and at $75 a month, that's also a great revenue stream. But we find that a lot of the kids that are interested in the privates and semi-privates will go for a Fab Four for budgeting reasons, and they'll see that progression a little bit quicker than if they were in a class. So they tend to stick with those Fab Fours.
And then if you were talking to a new gym owner who is looking at doing tumbling packages or tumbling classes, what is the biggest thing that you would stress or recommend for them?
The biggest thing I would stress is to have lesson plans built out for 8 weeks. Because even if you're doing an 8, 10, or 12-week session, or you're offering it year round, 8 weeks gives you enough time to cycle through drills for the skills that you're working on with those athletes without doing the same thing every single week. So kids like variety so that they don't get bored. Parents want to see progression. So that 8 weeks gives you enough time to truly work on a few skills. The other thing I highly recommend, keep your classes to just a few skills at a time to also help with that progression for the families, like for the parents. So for example, tumbling basics, you're working on front roll, bridge, back roll. That's it, 3 skills. When the child has mastered those skills, then they move to the next one and it goes by even quicker. Rather than, I have a level 1 class, we're going to work on front roll, back roll, Valdez, back walkover, front walkover, all those level 1 skills, and it can take kids ages to learn them and master them enough to be able to move on to level 2. So keep it small, plan it out. There are lots of options for tumbling in your gym. Tumbling is a great side revenue, especially for cheer gyms and dance studios, and I highly encourage you to check it out. If you love these ideas and want to know more, get in touch with us on social media at TTB Media and Consulting Inc.